Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Alpha, and today I am joined by Jason Kaplan. Why don't you introduce yourself? Who are you, sir?
Like you said, I'm Jason Kaplan. I'm a professional commentator at ESL. Used to cast the LCS, cast a lot of Counter-Strike action, hopefully coming to cast some Overwatch as well in the near future. I also do a video series with Mitch Leslie, another caster here at ESL, called Overdrive, where we break down the competitive side of Overwatch.
Yeah, and today we're gonna answer some questions that you guys asked on Reddit. So let's just start. We got to play a lot this weekend in Prague, and we got to answer some of your questions, to check some stuff in-game directly. Please keep in mind that it was the Gamescom build, so we didn't get to play as Junkrat nor Roadhog, but we got to try some other stuff that was not confirmed yet, and we got to ask some questions to the developers themselves about Roadhog and Junkrat. So hopefully you'll know more after the end of this video.
All right, well, with the first question, start off with Charizard Learned Fly. He asked, does Junkrat's primary splash hurt him? Can his mine hurt teammates or launch them? And then we got back from the Blizzard devs about this, is that you can't launch teammates, but we can assume since Pharah can hurt herself with her own rockets, that he can hurt himself as well.
Exactly. Second question comes also from Charizard Learned Fly. Can Roadhog hook his own teammates? The answer is no. Sadly not. You won't be able to do some crazy maneuvers with Roadhog, with your allies. I guess it's for the best because it will negate a bit of the trolling potential.
Yeah, exactly. Third question actually from Chandler the Human. He asked, can Junkrat's traps and mines be disabled by getting shot by the other team? That is a yes, from what we were told. That's actually a good thing as well, knowing the traps can be there and you kind of have to deal with them. Knowing that you can shoot them is always a good thing.
Yeah. Although we don't know how much HP they have. Like, we know for a fact that the Symmetra's teleporter, you can't one-shot it, but you can one-shot Symmetra's turret. So we don't know that yet, but you can destroy them. Alright, so next question from Gintoki for President. Nice nickname there. If hooked, can Tracer rewind while still pulled or after the animation ends? I assume the latter. If so, can she survive a full-on shotgun blast to the face from Roadhog in order to escape? Or, if timed right, can you rewind before he shoots you? Sorry. Timed right, she can escape, but a full shotgun blast to the face is apparently a one-shot kill for any character that is not a tank. Basically,
that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty hard. And basically, the stun duration on the hook is not on the entirety of the hook. So basically, you get stunned for like half a second, but by the time you get near Roadhog, the stun is gonna be done, and then you'll be able to use the rewind or the blink or anything. So Tracer, if you have your cooldowns, chances are you're gonna escape from Roadhog shotgun.
Okay, well, Ransom Xenom, he asked the next question. If you go through Symmetra's teleporter's Tracer and recall, will you go back to spawn? We actually got to test this one, thank God. We played on opposite team, or on the same team for this, and you can. So you can actually go through the teleporter and rewind. It'll take you back to spawn, which is cool. Yeah,
and you will consume another charge of the teleporter. So be careful.
Well, you consume it if you go back through the teleporter.
Yeah.
So if you rewind past it, you don't take it, but obviously if you take it again from spawn, you'll take another charge, which can actually piss off your teammates. So be careful.
Yeah, exactly. Another question from Clear Sky: how Roadhog's hook interact with shields? That's a very, very interesting question, and we got the answer. It gets blocked. It will just inflict damages. Roadhog's hook inflicts very little damage overall, but yeah, basically if you have a shield, if you're Reinhardt, you won't get hooked by Roadhog, and it makes sense. Honestly.
Reinhardt OP pretty much at this rate.
Reinhardt's shield is pretty strong at this stage.
All right, well, next question was from Clear Sky. Can Junkrat have more than one of the same mine? The answer we got back was no for him.
Yeah,
nope.
We can't really elaborate more on that. So basically, just one mine for him. Also, Sprite Guy 000 asked about how Blizzard ranks their heroes based on the difficulty levels. Basically, we got to see at Gamescom that there was a new ranking system for each heroes. That every hero has a star rating from between 1 to 3, and we got everything here. I won't tell you everything about it in the video. Check the description for that. We have the list of every heroes with their difficulty levels. Keep in mind, this is not final. This is just a rough estimations from the developers.
And one thing I will say, I can tell you one of them, Pharah at 1 star, Mercy at 1 star as well. Makes sense, very easy characters to play. However, the skill ceiling is relatively high. It's very hard to be a fantastic player of that kind of class. So that's one thing I wanted to point out. So the stars can be a little bit misleading sometimes, but they give you a general idea how things go. Jacuzzi Pete, great name, asks, find an enemy right, or actually asks us to do something for him. Find an enemy Reinhardt to stand still for you, and then tell me how many clips it takes to kill him with headshots, and then again only with body shots. And I got to play the Tracer for this one. Fortunately, Alpha had to play him.
Punching bag.
Yeah, he was a punching bag. It was great. It was phenomenal. But 54 shots to the head and 120 shots to the body. So it really kind of shows the high-level skilled aimers out there can be rewarded. It's not all about strategy. So if you're really good at aiming, then you'll be doing a lot better overall.
Yeah, exactly. It's roughly double the damage for headshots.
I mean, what you said, less than 1.5 clips for the head and 3 clips per body. That tells you right there.
Yeah, exactly. But keep in mind that headshots, they don't have the exact same values between characters. We know for a fact that Pharah doesn't get completely double damage on headshots with rockets. So that's...
It should be an instant kill. I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah, but it's not anymore. So yeah, we'll see in the final build we get to test more of that. Another question coming from Nods. Does Junkrat's ultimate get cancelled if he gets killed while he's casting it? Yes. Yes,
yeah, I can see a lot of people messing that one up, actually, just using the ultimate in the middle of a team fight. And it's like, yeah, good job, guy.
Yeah, just a quick note about that. If you get killed during the animation, then the ultimate won't get consumed, basically.
Oh, okay.
So you'll get it back.
Next question was from Kenneth. Is there voice comms? In the build we played, there was not, but the devs are experimenting with that as well as ping systems, if you saw recently an interview that was up on Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. King Niku asked, can Hanzo stay on a wall like a frog, or will he fall off eventually? If you stop climbing, then you fall off. Basically, you can't stick to the wall. Basically,
yeah, you can.
So he can't. So
that'd be a little bit too OP if you could.
Yeah, a bit.
From Aya, Mr. Game & Watch, is there any way to gain momentum by rocket jumping with Pharah? Now, this is a really tricky question because you technically do gain speed when you pop the rocket, like a rocket jumping in TF2, right onto you, right behind you. It does push you forward a little bit. So it's kind of impossible, at least with the mouse sensitivity that we had, to chain that, especially if you don't have any decline in an altitude in terms of how the floor is. So we're going to say you pretty much can't pull that off. However, we did actually test if you can kind of stay in the air for a long time. I think that's another question we'll get to in just a little bit.
Yeah, and about the rocket jumping, I tried it several times in the spawning area, and sometimes it didn't affect my character at all. So I just had full explosion in my face, didn't move at all, but sometimes it worked. So it was really tricky. I actually, I think it works if you're not using your jetpack. That was really weird. If you're not pressing spacebar, then I got like kind of knocked back. But,
Interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. Maybe it's still in development. They're changing that, but you can use the concussive blast to propel yourself.
Yeah,
that's confirmed. Next question from Triangle 1118 Energy, tricky nickname. How far down is the kill zone on cliffs for Pharah purposes? So we tested that. You actually tested that. It's about 4 Pharah's length.
We couldn't give you it's 22.5 meters. You can't obviously do that. It's got to just kind of guess about how tall she is. So yeah, like 4 lengths on Numbani. So we're not really showing out the other maps. Fortunately, didn't really get to test that one.
It felt like the same on Volskaya when I tested it. Right. So yeah, you can actually go quite low, but yeah.
You technically can scare people if you just kind of hover there for a second, then rocket jump up and just
shift.
catch them out.
Yeah.
Second Frost, he asks, if an enemy Tracer puts a pulse bomb on you as Tracer and you use a recall, will the bomb still be in effect?
That was
again, you got to be the punching bag for that one. And in theory, you would assume that it would come with you. I think it was.
I think
I'm trying to remember what I was saying
at first.
I assumed that it would come back with you.
You were pretty sure about it, but I was like,
yeah,
we gotta test it.
Well, the pulse bomb's left behind, so you pretty much, at least in this case, you lose all debuffs on you or all attachments on you, and you go back in time, and it stays there.
Yeah.
At least with that one. Not sure with the other ones just yet.
Yeah, the interesting fact is that it doesn't disappear. Basically, the pulse bomb just drop on the floor and explode. So yeah, you can actually counter Tracer with Tracer.
Yeah.
Interesting fact. Next question comes from Kirito, who has the highest amount of burst damage. That's a very tricky question. Actually, I believe Hanzo has the biggest burst damage normal attack. Basically, if you don't count the ultimates, the scatter arrow, if you aim it properly, like on the floor, and every single arrow, like small arrows from that spell go into the body of the enemy, you will like instant kill Zarya, for example. As Zarya was playing Zarya, I got instant killed by Hanzo using that spell. That's pretty surprising when you play as a tank. You're like, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What killed me? But aside from that, apparently Junkrat's got tremendous amount of damage with his ultimate. So maybe that's the biggest burst damage in the game. Maybe Tracer, but for now, I believe Hanzo has the.
It's hard to test when you can't sit there, checking, especially with values.
Yeah.
But we do have another question from Prolgurk. Go with that one.
Yeah.
Can you control yourself mid-air, like change the direction, cancel the jump, or maybe even jump around a corner? So, from what we could tell, you have a lot of air control, but I don't know if it's the level of in Counter-Strike, if that's what you're referring to, being able to kind of bunny hop back and forth by controlling the movements in the air, like Quake style. But there's definitely an amount that you can control.
Yeah, exactly. You actually, like, it's very. You can tell really when you play as Winston or Pharah. Like Winston, you just jump back in the air and then you can really aim well where you're gonna land. So you have a lot of air control, and with Pharah it's exactly the same. So you actually have a lot of air control. Maybe it changes giving on the character you play, but not sure about that. I think everyone has kind of the same air control.
So Torbjorn's screwed because he's tiny.
Yeah,
he's got no hops.
Yeah, Torbjorn. Yeah, that's sad for Torbjorn. Give some love to Torbjorn. Everyone is hating on Torbjorn.
I will give him love in terms of we played 6 of them, and we absolutely destroyed a team. It was hilarious.
Yeah, we did. I remember. That was pretty nasty.
That was hilarious.
That was pretty nasty.
They didn't even cross the first checkpoint.
We were missing just one dwarf. We had a Disney movie.
It was some random dude that we had also on our team, like kept changing characters on us, but we had like 6 or 5 level 3 turrets, and you just couldn't move. You couldn't do anything. It was great.
Yeah, that was great for us. And last question: which of the tanky characters is the best mix of tank and damage? The answer for me is Zarya. Zarya has a lot of damage. She's got tremendous amount of damage if you manage to stack up your power using the barriers and the projected barriers and your ultimates, and it's just incredible the amount of damage that you can show with that character. It's definitely higher than Reinhardt and Winston, in my opinion. I don't know about you, Jason.
I haven't actually played Zarya, funny enough. Zarya was actually like one of the 2 characters I haven't played yet. So I keep getting stuck on Pharah and Reaper, but I'll trust you on that one. Reinhardt, consistent damage, he can't compete, but he does have the body slamming someone into a wall, which can do a tremendous amount of damage. But I'll agree with you, Zarya definitely the stronger one in that kind of pick.
Yeah, so that's about it for this Reddit AMA post.
There's actually one more thing I want to add in, though.
Oh, okay.
So as Reinhardt, apparently you can't stop your charge that you're doing.
Yeah.
From what I experienced and saw. So
you dropped the.
I was playing Pharah against a guy from Multi Esports, I think it was.
Oh no, it was against Xelico, a French YouTuber.
Okay, there you go.
I remember.
And he charged me as Reinhardt while I was Pharah. And instead of obviously taking the hit because I'm a good player, I shifted up out into the air, rocket launched above him, and he went off a cliff.
Yeah.
So be careful where you're charging with Reinhardt.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like no, but yeah, it ends up dying in the from the cliff. Yeah, that was a very funny highlight from this play session. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this was helpful to you. We're still waiting for those gameplay previews for Junkrat and Roadhog. Hopefully very soon. We hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one. Pretty soon, I guess. I don't know when. Don't ask me. We'll see you. And check out Overdrive, the YouTube show from Jason Kaplan and Mitch Leslie. Check it out. It's in the description. Thank you, Jason, again for joining me.
It was great.
It was a pleasure to have you, even though it's technically your desk.
You might recognize the set a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time.